everyone. So this time we will tackle about the some of the topics from General Mathematics 11. We have here the following: stocks and bonds and problems on business and consumer law. So we'll tackle first the about bonds. So we have here what are bonds. So what first comes to your mind when you encounter the financial term bonds? When a potential depositor wants to save or invest, he or she gives the investable funds to a party of interest, which could be either a financial institution or a retail or corporate borrower. The common investments are in the form of deposit to a bank or kaluwagan, contribution to a cooperative or credit union. The concept of bonds is almost the same. When you purchase a bond, you are lending money to a government, city, corporation, or any other entity known as an issuer. In return for that money, the issuer provides you with a bond in which it promises to pay a specified rate of interest during the life of the bond and to repay the face value of the bond or the principal. Other term is the principal. When it matures or comes due, bonds can also be referred to as, so we have here the following. The bonds can be referred also to as bills, notes, debt, securities, or debt obligation. So we have here the types of bonds. We have the first one is the corporate bonds. Are bonds issued by the most established corporations. Here in the Philippines, most bonds issuers are from the banking sector, real estate, and telecommunications industry. These corporations are leveraging on the funds raised to finance their operational and capital expenditure. So that is for the corporate bonds. The second, we have here the secured bonds. Are bonds that are backed up by corporate collaterals that have substantial value such as property, plant, or equipment. Third, we have here unsecured bonds. So, for unsecured bonds are not collateralized by any substantial corporate asset, also known as debenture bonds. These bonds are only issued with good faith. The upside is the interest is usually higher due to the risk that the unsecured bond holders take. The fourth one, we have here convertible bonds are bonds that can be interchanged with shares of stock. So, pwede rin, no? These are also a hybrid type of bond because of their debt or equity features. Then, we have here the next one, callable bonds are bonds that can literally be recalled or redeemed by the issuer even before the bonds mature. So, bisag wala pa ginabot ang due date niya, no? So, we have here an illustrative example on this first topic. Okay, we have here the table below shows the data on two stockholders given the par value, the dividend percentage, and the number of shares of stock they have with a certain corporation. So we are asked to find the dividend of the two stockholders. We have stockholder A and B. So we have here the par value 50, that in letter A, 3% and 100 as its number of shares. So to obtain if you are going to identify the dividend of the two stockholders, so we're just going to multiply this given quantities, 50 times 3% times 100, then that is actually equivalent to the dividend of these stockholders. So we have here the solution for letter A, par value times dividend in percent times the number of shares. So we have 50 times 3% times 100 is equal to 150 pesos. For letter B, we have par value times dividend, the same formula that we are going to use for letter B. So we have 48 times 2.75% times 150, that is equivalent to 198 pesos. So these are the dividend of the two stockholders AB. Okay, example 2, we have here a certain company gave out 25 pesos dividend per share for its common stock. The market value of the stock is 92 pesos. Determine the stock yield ratio. So what we're going to identify in this problem is the stock yield ratio. So the stock yield ratio is actually equivalent to, you have here, dividend divided by price. So that is how to obtain its value, no? So 25 as the dividend as being stated in the problem, while 92 pesos is the corresponding price, no? So when we are going to divide 25 divided 92, that is equivalent to 0.2717 or 27.17%. Okay, example number 3. Find the amount of the semi-annual coupon for 250,000 bond which pays 7% convertible semi-annually for each coupon. So remember, convertible semi-annually. So meaning they are going to pay twice a year kay semi-annually man. So we will have to divide it by 2. So what we're going to do is just multiply 250,000 times 7%, then the result will be, or the product will be divided by 2. So we have here semi-annually coupon is equal to 250,000 times 0.07 as equivalent to the decimal point of the 7%, then divide by 2. So we have 17,500 divided by 2. We have 8,750 pesos. Okay, as the amount of semi-annual coupon. Okay, so we have here, we will proceed now to the problems on business and consumer loans. So we have here an example. Mr. Ramos is considering to pay his outstanding balance after 3 years of payment. The original amount of the loan is 100,000 pesos, payable annually in 5 years. If the interest rate is 10% per annum and the regular payment is 26,379.75 annually, how much is the outstanding balance after the third payment? So in this problem, we are asked to identify the outstanding balance after paying sa ikatulo, no, nga higayon, no, third payment. So we are asked to find D sub 3 in this problem, provided that it is paid annually, no, so once in a year. So we have here the formula. D sub 3 is equal to R. R is actually referring to the regular payment times the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus J raised to the power of negative K. Actually, that J is referring to the ratio between the percent and the number of payment, no? Kanang per annum. So 1 naman siya gyapon. So J is 10% divide per annum is 1 lang, no? K is referring to, so kapila man 3 years. So we have 3, no? So we have this one. Okay? So 3 years man ang iyang kuan. Balance after 3 years man of payment. So the original amount of, we're in the original amount of the loan is 100,000. Payables annually in 5 years if the interest rate is 10% per annum. So therefore, we have here 26,379.75. We have here the value also of K, which is equivalent to, okay, so we know that we have here K is equal to 3 minus 1. So we have 3 is coming from 3 years, now minus 1. Then we have, that is equivalent to 2 as our value of K. And we have J here is the ratio of the interest rate and the payment, no, which is per annum. So we have 0.10 divided by 1. Okay, then by simplifying or using those given values, we have for R, we have 26,379.75 multiplied by 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.10 raised to the power of negative 2 as the value of K over 0.10. Then we are going to use our scientific calculator, so we can obtain as 45,783.04. So it means that in the third payment, no, the amount will be, or the outstanding balance will be 45,783.04. 0.04. Okay, let us have now an example number 2. A consumer loan worth of 30,000 pesos is to be repaid in 12 months at 9% convertible monthly. So it is different from the other problem or previous problem because this one, it is monthly. So how much is the monthly payment? So in here or in this problem, so we are going to identify the regular payment amount. So we have to reverse the formula from what we used for the formula that we had been used previously in our example. So we have here R now. To find the regular payment or monthly payment, that is R is equal to P, wherein P is referring to the principal amount over 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus J raised to the power of negative n. N is referring to the number of payment over J. So, muna na yung formula nga itong gamiton. Okay? Wherein P is equal to 30,000. N is 12 because it is monthly. Then J is 0.09 over 12. So, the ratio, no? The percentage divided by its what? We have number of payments as being described as monthly, no? Or 12 months. So when we divide 0.09 by 12, that is equivalent to 0.0075. Okay? So using the formula, substituting those quantities, so we have here 30,000 over the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.0075 raised to the power of negative 12 over 0.0075. So using our scientific calculator, we can now have 2,623.54 as the regular monthly payment. No? So that is the amount that we're going to have for the monthly or regular monthly payment. Okay, so I guess those are some of the example on how we are going to solve problems related on stock and bonds and problems on consumer business and consumer loans. So I hope that those example will help you particularly in answering your activity similar to this one.